All right, so today we're doing the work for September 16th for 7th grade. So once again, we're going to do the same thing. We're going to work on some percent questions. We're going to work on tax questions, which are percent questions, and then we're going to work on ratio questions. I'm going to do problems 1, 2, and 3. You're going to get those notes down, and then you're going to do 4, 5, and 6. So on number 1, it says a group of 40 students picks whether they like cats or dogs more. How many students prefer dogs? So we know that one whole will add up to 100%. So 60% of the kids like cats, which means the other 40% would prefer dogs. Now the question isn't asking what percentage of students prefer dogs. What it is asking is how many students prefer dogs. So what we have to do is we have to find what is 40% of 40. So the way we're going to do that is I'm going to do the box. We're going to have 40 and 0, and then we're going to have 40 and 0. So I know here I'm going to have 0, 0, and 0. But right here I'm going to have 4 times 4, which is 16, and then 2 extra zeros. So what that's going to give me is 16. We have 2 numbers behind the decimal, and we get 16 students prefer dogs. So once again, it's not asking for what percentage of students like dogs, because that's way too easy for 7th grade. It's asking how many. And if you're wondering how I got the 2 numbers behind the decimal, that's because we have this 40%, and to turn into a decimal, we have to go over 1 over 2. So really, we're multiplying 40 times 0.40. So we're going to go down to number 2, which is really close to the same thing. Susie buys a case of soda for $14. Sorry, it should be she pays an 8% sales tax. What is the tax on the case of soda? Well, our whole thing is $14, but the tax is only going to be 8% of it. So we're going to go over 1 over 2, and we know that we're going to be multiplying that $14 times 0.08. So I'm going to go ahead and draw the box for that. We have 10 and 4. And then we're going to have 0 and 8. So when I multiply that out, we are going to get 132 with 2 numbers behind the mouth. Sorry, we're going to get 112 with 2 numbers behind the decimal because of that 0.08. And so that's going to be the tax that we're going to be doing. So that's the tax that we're going to be doing for that question. So what we want to do is we want to make sure that that is our answer and that we box it. So 1.12 is our tax. But now we want to say, what would we do if we wanted to find the total? If we wanted to find the total, we'd add in that $14. So 1.12 plus 14 would give us $15.12. But that's not what the question is asking. The question's just asking what is the tax, so that's what we're looking for, the $1.12. So now we're going to do problem number 3. Mandy draws a picture of a house. Every inch of the drawing represents 22 feet. The drawing is 6.5 inches. How many feet is the house? So this is a ratio question. So what we have is 1 inch is 22 feet. So I'm going to write that down. 1 inch is 22 feet. And I'm going to draw my line. Now in my second ratio, I have 6.5 inches. So what I have to find out is how many feet there are. So I'm trying to find out how I can get from 1 to 6.5. So I can just divide that. 6.5 divided by 1 will give me 6.5. So I know my proportionality is going to be times 6.5 because that is how I can get from 1 to 6.5. So I'm going to have to do the same thing for the bottom half, for the feet. I'm going to have to multiply 22 times 6.5, and I'll be able to find out how many feet that picture is. So I'm going to go ahead and do the box. I'm going to have 20 and 2, and then I'm going to have 60 and 5. 1, 2, 0, 0. 10 with an extra 0. 120 with an extra 0, and then 10. When I add all of these up, I should get 1,300 and 1,400 and 30, and I'm going to have one number behind the decimal, so that's going to come out to 143 feet. So the correct answer would be 143 feet. So what you want to do is you want to make sure that you have your ratio set up, and you want to make sure that you can divide whichever one you have a pair of, so you can find the proportionality, or what you're going to have to multiply the bottom by. So you're going to do problems 4, 5, and 6 by yourself. Number 4 says there are 200 cars in the parking lot. How many more cars are there than red cars are there than blue cars? And the hint is the answer isn't 35. So it's not going to be as easy as 60 minus 25. This is 7th grade, so we're going to have to do a little extra work. We're going to have to find out what 60% of 200 is, and we're going to have to find out what 25% of 200 is, and find out how many more of the red cars there are than blue cars. Next, number 5, we're trying to find sales tax. So we're going to figure out what 12% of 72,000 is. And lastly, we have a ratio. So make sure you find the two that we have. We have 3 months on Earth. We have months on Earth and months on Neptune. And the other piece of information we have is also months on Neptune. So you're finding out how we can get from 63 to 378. Make sure you set up your ratio, and good luck. Once again, this is a work for September 16th for 7th grade.